The biggest mistake you would make in life as a young man is looking for shorter, illegal, and unjustified ways of making money in life. Just because someone is trying to earn a living in life doesn't mean they should put one's else life at risk. There isn't any measure of hardship that warrants taking advantage of others' life. If you're watching this video and you are a youth, I'm making this video for my dear youth out there. I know that you are starting up life and things ought to be very difficult at some point because this is just the startup. I want you to be very patient with life and to take the process of life very gradual, because hardship is what almost everybody you've seen out there that seems to be successful had passed through. Most of the big people you see, most of the successful people you see in the world has passed through different calibers of circumstances, and it took until they were able to scale through that they amassed their success. Where are you rushing to? I mean, you can't even imagine the fact and the reality of this news that just went viral on the internet recently. A guy murdered a lady for 150,000 naira. This lady gave this guy 150,000 naira to get an apartment for him. Meanwhile, this guy took this money, went and gambled with it. When he finished up this money gambling, the only thing he could thought of was eliminating this lady just to get rid of that money. And this was how this guy ended up killing this innocent lady just for 150,000 naira. But what about this same guy in Benue State who is into fish business? This guy is striving into fish business to earn a living. The issue with most of us is that we are not willing to stand out on businesses. Most of the youth today complain there is no job opportunity. But I want to tell you, irrespective of the fact and the reality that there is no job opportunity in Nigeria today, doesn't guarantee you to go for illegal or short ways of making money. The issue of Yahoo have been trending here in Nigeria. But look at these guys that are into Yahoo, look at these guys that are into rituals. How did their life ended? There is no way you receive something from the devil and still enjoying that same thing you've gotten from him. Some of these guys out there on illegal stuff just to earn a living doesn't even think twice before embarking on their evil missions. Whatsoever you sow in life today, you are surely going to reap it. Look at the story of Hush Puppy. Hush Puppy was one of the biggest time richest young man here in Nigeria who amassed most of his wealth through internet laundry. But how is his life going on today? This guy right now is in the prison. Whatsoever you embark on in life today as a young man, I want you to think of your future before embarking on this thing. Is this thing going to make impact to your generation? Is this thing going to make impact to your life? Or you are just there selfishly to make an income from it? You see, my dear youth, I understand the fact that at some point in your life, you go through a lot of difficulty. I'm also a young man like you, and I've had most of these experiences most of you are having today. But I want you to understand that being a good person pays a lot. As you live this life, the priority you should focus on is making impacts. At this point in your life, don't be too anxious of making money. Don't be too anxious of attaining any height in life. At this point in your life, I want you to understand that it is a gradual process to get to the top. You aren't meant to be in a haste. The most important thing you should focus on is how you are going to make impact and make positive transformation in your generation. These are the things that create legacies and make people hero. If you want to become a hero one day in life, you have to endure the pains and the most difficult circumstances of your life. Just take a look at this guy here in Benue State who dropped out from his higher institution because he could not even afford the school fees to pay. And despite that, he went on the street to pick those orphans there on the street to train them, go out there to perform some shows and gather up money to pay their school fees. And when the time came, no matter how they were suffering the difficulty and the struggle, at some point God wanted to give them breakthrough, and he brought connection to them where they got assistance. I know this thing can be very difficult and very, very traumatizing, but you ought to be strong in this part. Heroes have got to pass through certain challenges and endure these pains in order to cross into the cycle of their success. Most of these people, as I told you earlier, that you see that might seem to be successful today, they all had one or two challenges they have passed through, and it took until they were able to endure these challenges that they scaled through to the circle of success. If you want to be successful in life, if you want to create a legacy in life, then this video is for you. Never be anxious of making money. Never compare yourself with your mates. They have their own space in life. They have their own timelines. The fact that this guy is 25 years old and he's very successful doesn't mean you are 21 years old and you'll be successful. It is never an intimidating thing. Never be in a haste to amass success in life. I want you to understand that finance is not even the most important thing when it comes to success. Success simply means doing what makes you happy. Success simply means being successful at what God has called you to become in life. God has never called anyone in life to become financial free from nowhere. You ought to start up something, become successful at it, and finance come in as a reward. So if you really think finance simply means being successful, you are making the biggest mistake. To some of you, God might call you to become a doctor, and it will take your ability to graduate as a medical student. And when you become successful in this medical journey, that is when the money will comes in. That is where the money comes in. The money here is a token of the reward you should amass in your path of success. My dear friends, the most necessitated aspect of your life is to work out the paths that makes you successful, is to work out the paths that will bring glory to your generation, is to work out the path that God has called you to fulfill in life, and then money will follow up. Do not be eager at any point in your life to make money. Be contented with where you are right now, because God has placed you in this point in your life for a good. And I believe He's surely going to take you there, but you must work it out, persevere, endure, and stay with the Lord. You see, most people think gold does not pay in life, but I want to tell you today, there is a reward for every good thing you do in life today. And as a young man, you ought to be focused in life to acquire whatever you want to acquire successfully. Because the evils we commit today, the bad things we do today, will never make the good things right. And these could have repercussions and consequences against our future. Look at this guy who has murdered a lady of 25 years old just because of 150,000 naira. This news has gone viral on the internet. Where do you think that guy would be in the next 5 years? His life has already terminated. But imagine this guy who is just struggling and thriving in his corporate business of selling fish. This guy, in the next 5 years, I tell you, he will become a very successful entrepreneur. When you hear people like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Aliko Dangote, I tell you the truth, they have passed through certain levels of struggle. They kept persistent and figure up justifying ways of making money to get to where they are today. But because you want to amass this success at an earlier stage, you are too in a hurry to make this money. This can even end you in a very destructive future. Please, if you're watching this video and you love these words of encouragement and it's motivating and inspiring to you, because at some point most of you out there feel like going the wrong part of life has more pay than going the right part of life, but today you've watched this video and it has changed that negativity in you, endeavor to share this video to reach out to a lot of youth out there who are about to give up on the good part of life. So many people out there are deceived. They think Yahoo is the way to make it up in life. They are making the greatest mistake in their life. Most of them are not even aware that they are destroying their future today. But until this video reach out to them to tell them these realities, they will fail. In the next 2-3 years, you will see them and you will not even imagine. Some of them will even die prematurely. I'm begging you, my dear youth, take this video in consideration. Walk over your life, focus and live the path of positivity, and I tell you, in the next 5 years your life will surely change. Thank you for watching this video. It's your friend Bansley.